Good day, learners. My name is Dr. I.K. Moore from the Department of Business Administration, BUS301 University, and I will be taking you on BUS301, which is Management Theories. The course is divided into 11 sessions. Section 1 is an overview of management as generally. Section 2 dwells on management practices before tenure. Section 3 discusses tenure and the scientific management theory. Section 4 discusses management and organizational building as treated by Fayol and Owick. Section 5 discusses Max Weber, bureaucracy and adhocracy. Section 5 dwells on contemporary management theories. Section 7 is on motivational theories. In Section 8, we shall discuss leadership theories. In Section 9, we will concentrate on change management theories. In Section 10, we discuss management theories in a changing environment, while in Section 11, which is the final, we discuss the applicability of management theories in Nigeria. We'll now go straight to Section 1, which is an overview of management. At the end of this session, you should be able to undertake a comprehensive definition of management, itemize critical issues relevant to management, discuss how managers manage, highlight the skills and qualities required by managers, and explain the imperatives for managerial effectiveness. So we'll start with definition of management. Many practitioners and authorities are frustrated by the seeming lack of certainty in management. In fact, in 1969, Roger Falk stated that there are no ready-made answers, while Kuhns was so frustrated about the management theory jungle. But there are certain certainties, there are certain processes, and some principles that facilitate the work of a manager. In the first instance, generally, there are 4 approaches to the definition of management. The first one is theoretical, which dwells on the theories of management. The second one is descriptive, which concentrates on what managers do. The third one is comparative, which compares the various hierarchies in management, while the fourth one is action-based, which discusses how managers spend their time. Management can also be seen as a concept, as a term, a process, and a function, or as a profession and academic discipline, or as an economic resource, or an activity, whether interpersonal or decisional or informative, or as a team, which is a group of people who are delivering management responsibilities, and as science and arts. Now, in terms of science and arts, if you can see management as science, you find that it has a systematic body of knowledge. It has universal principles. It has scientific inquiry and experiment. It discusses cause and effect relationship, and there are tests of validity and reliability. But as an art, you find out that practical knowledge, as it has practical knowledge as in every art. Personal skills of the managers differ. It adopts a result-oriented approach. It requires creativity and improvement through service. But most important, management deals with human beings who are unpredictable. And there are other features of management. It is universal, it is goal-oriented, it's a continuous process, it's multidimensional, it's a group activity, it is dynamic, and it is intangible. You cannot see management. It is what people do, but you cannot see it. So what then is management? First of all, let us take note of the three critical elements of every organization. Number one, every organization has objectives. The SMART results the organization intends to achieve. SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Every organization has resources, which are tangible, intangible, and then the capabilities in that organization. Every organization situates in an environment, which is an assortment of variables that create SWOT, and that is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for the organization. So for every organization, you have objectives, you have resources, and you have environment. If you now take all of them together, you see management as the generality of tasks involved in making an organic whole out of the diverse resources of an organization and channeling them effectively towards the achievement of specified goals within a given time frame, while respecting the laws and ethical standards of the society and being conscious of a rapidly changing environment. A manager is the one who is involved in the process of management. And taken from this perspective, everybody is a manager, including the gate man. The management or manager personifies the firm, acting on its behalf and taking responsibility for its successes and failures. There are tasks of management, which are those duties performed by every manager irrespective of the department or function. You have planning, you have organizing, you have staffing, you have directing, you have controlling, and you have coordinating. These are the various aspects of management duty which everybody performs, whether he's in marketing, whether he's in finance, or whether he is in production. But they are the ones that are now called functions, and these are the duties of management performed at the functional levels, like marketing, which tries to acquire and satisfy customers; finance, which talks about acquisition, anticipation, and the allocation of finance; human resources, which deals with the human elements of the organization; production, administration, and management information system. Now, what are those issues that are critical in management? What are those issues you need to bear in mind when we're talking about management? Number one, management process takes place within an organization, and the organization must be properly structured for management to do its job. Secondly, the resources are limited and have alternative uses. Thirdly, human resources are the most critical of all resources because they acquire and manage all the other resources, including money. Management takes place in an environment, and unfortunately, manager has little control over this environment. Therefore, the manager must continuously monitor the external environment. The essence of management is to produce results, and these are measured vis-a-vis corporate objectives. The results depend on the objectives that have been predetermined. That means the manager must know the results. Consequently, the 20/80 rule becomes essential. This is a rule that says that 20% of the activities will yield 80% of the results. And this is that 20/80 rule in practice. You find out that 20% of the inputs will yield 80% of the results. Consequently, it's essential for the manager to concentrate on those 20% that yield 80%. Furthermore, management cannot be done if the objectives are not properly set or established in key areas, or if they lack clarity, consistency, and they are neither challenging nor measurable. So for management to be effective, you have to make sure that the objectives are properly set. Furthermore, effectiveness and efficiency are the key issues. And that means effectiveness, getting results; efficiency, getting it in the most economic way. Managers should also be proactive so that we anticipate the future and act accordingly. A key challenge for managers is integrating and balancing of conflicting forces, events, and stakeholder demands. There are different people, there are different interests, their interests are different and they differ. It is the job of the manager and the management to integrate and balance these forces. It is also imperative to discharge social responsibility to the employees, to the environment, and to the economy as a whole. And in talking about social responsibility, the most important factor is profitability. Profitability is an act of social responsibility, because if a company is not profitable, then it has mismanaged the resources of the organization. In starting with managers do, we start from the classification by Minsberg, who divided managers' job into three, grouped them into three: interpersonal, informational, and decisional roles. That interpersonal roles are divided into three: figurehead, leadership, and liaison. Informational roles talks about spokesperson, disseminator of information, and monitor. As a spokesperson, if there's any information that the organization has to give to the outside world, it is the manager that does that. The decisional role talks about the role of the management or the manager as a negotiator, resource allocation, distributor, disturbance handling, and an entrepreneur. This shows how Minsberg classified these roles. 3 of them totally divided into 10. But there's another classification which talks about whether the manager uses the nursery style, the bossy style, the professional style, or the craft style. The nurse style is management by wandering about. The boss style is a command and control model. The professional style talks about credential-based and office-bound management. Is there because of credential. While the craft style talks about inspiring leadership based on mutual respect. What are those factors that influence what managers do and their style? There are 3. The context, that's environment, the common values, and the kind of person the manager is. All in all, they now give you the expectation, the values, and the approach. The context talks about the law and government policies, authority and school policies. The common policy values refer to what everyone wants for the community. And personality looks at those individual teaching styles and product of people's experience. So the manager's job is influenced by the context, the common values, and his personality. We discuss management levels and skills, starting with the 3-skill model. Ordinarily and generally, there are 3 levels of management: top, middle, and supervisory or operational. And originally, we also had 3 concepts, 3 skills that they require. Conceptual skills needed most by those at the top, human relation skills needed by those in middle management, and technical skills needed mostly by the supervisory or operational staff. But those original 3 skills have been expanded as developments. As we move along, we move from conceptual, interpersonal, and strategic skills to many more. It's more than 10. You need technical skills, you need analytical skills, the ability to analyze, you need decision-making skills, you need information and communication technology skills, you need skills for human relations and communications, which is a critical factor. You need a strategic skill, the skill to initiate and execute strategies. Then emotional intelligence, which talks about how people manage their own persons and other people's emotions for the good of both themselves and for the organization. We talk about cross-cultural intelligence because we're in a multicultural world. We talk about social and political skills as well as adversity management, the ability to manage and survive adversities. What are the qualities of a manager? What are the behaviors that are required? Now, there are no ideal qualities because human beings are different, the environment are different. But generally, you find out that for a manager, you have the disability of being away from what is wrong and how it affects the decision. We talk about transparency, integrity and truthfulness. We talk about fidelity. We talk about being fair. We talk about respect for others. We talk about, tact. We talk about being friendly. We talk about being decisive. And we talk about the ability to read the situation, to observe the environment, and know what is the most important step to take at that particular time. What are the imperatives for the manager to be effective? The essence of management is effectiveness, although efficiency is also a part. In fact, the manager should be interested in efficiency. So for that to work, number one, the objectives must be clear. The manager must know what he's looking out for. Secondly, the manager himself must be convinced about the goals of the organization and be able to carry that conviction across. There's clarity of responsibility, authority, and expectation. So everybody knows what is responsible for, what the authority is, and what's expected of him or her. There should be effective communication, both upwards, downwards, and sidewards. The structure must be very suitable, and the organizational climate must be conducive. The CEO must be committed and he must walk the talk. Equity must be there, ensuring that effort and rewards are balanced. People are rewarded according to the efforts. There should be particular attention to people. Effective time management, because time is money and time does not wait for us. Focus on results. Effective, efficient, and timely management. Timely decisions. There should be optimal delegation so that the manager does not do everything to himself. And management should be built on strength rather than building on weaknesses. Every human being has some weaknesses, they have some strengths. Management should be focused on those areas of strength of the people. I thank you for listening.